Chapter 6, An Introduction to Television Style, Modes of Production. A summary by Stephen Scape and Adam Lehman. The process, the modes of production. This is a style of shooting that relies on a particular technology governed by an economic systems. With a single camera which emphasizes efficiency, one camera at a time, and the multi-camera. This is two or more cameras trained on the set while the scene is acted out.
The approach. Pre-production is the written planning for a shoot. Production is the shoot itself, and post-production is the editing, sound design, and everything else that comes afterwards.
The team. The director is the person in charge of the set. The screenwriter writes the scripts and the screenplays. The showrunner is producers responsible for the creation of the episodes. The continuity person keeps track of the shot details. Sound editor is the technician who manipulates the program's soundtrack, whereas a musical director selects and arranges all the music. The tools involved consist of the script or the screenplay, which is a written preparation for the TV show, the production draft or shooting script, which is the final finished script. The pilot is the debut episode for a series. The pitch is the verbal presentation of a series. The treatment is a 4 to 5 page overview of an episode. And the storyboards, these illustrations are the shots of progression. The finishing tools consist of direct-to-disc, which is digitally stored video. The line cut, the show commences, the director switches among 3 or more different camera shots. The kinescope is the pointing of a motion picture camera at a TV screen or originally shooting on film, broadcasting, and editing the version later. The laugh track is additional recorded laughter and applause, which is applied in post-production, and the switcher changes between cameras.
To go into more detail about single camera and multi-camera modes of production, we're going to use an example of a medical sitcom called Scrubs. This is a season 4 episode, My Life in 4 Cameras. Now, the way the show usually looks is it's a single camera show, no laugh track or anything either. The main character daydreams a lot, and in this one he imagines himself to be in a more traditional sitcom. It comes with a laugh track, multiple cameras, brighter lighting, catchphrases, that sort of thing. In a single camera show, it's similar to a movie, and it's recorded in kind of the same way too. When you watch a movie and 2 characters are speaking, you see the camera cut back and forth between their faces. But that's not how it was recorded, and it's the same with a single camera TV show. In a single camera show, they'll record all of one actor's lines and all of another actor's lines, and then they'll cut them together so it looks like they're having a conversation. That's not really limited to just dialogue either. Everything is out of order, according to however is most cost-effective. In the image here, we see a cafeteria, which the characters of the show visit multiple times throughout the episode. But according to time constraints and budget, those scenes in the cafeteria were probably shot all at once. The camera crew and the director and everyone else didn't leave the cafeteria, go somewhere else, and then come back later. They shot one scene, then another scene, then another scene, and then those scenes were used in different places throughout the episode in the editing process that gave us the final product. In general, single camera productions are more expensive and less efficient, but the trade-off is that they afford the director much more control over how something looks. All the shots are composed for how they'll look through the lens of that one camera. Some examples Butler gives are primetime dramas, commercials, and music videos. In a multi-camera production, the difference, as you might see in this image, is the presence of more than one camera. In the context of this episode, and of sitcoms like this in general, it's sort of like a play. Imagine you're watching a play or you're putting on a play, and you set up a couple of cameras to capture what's going to happen. That's basically how a multi-camera production works, and some of them are even done in front of a studio audience. The scenes aren't fragmented, they're performed similarly to how they'll look in the final product. There's none of an actor doing one line and then recording another line that comes later in the conversation while the camera's still trained on him. As the scene's being acted out, the director will perform what's called a line cut, which basically just means they change the camera angle. Now, Butler gives some other examples in addition to sitcoms of soap operas, game shows, and sporting events.